So you head out into Rockhelm and head up to the trade hall, which would be that building there. So let's move them to there.
In the intervening time, Radovan did leave the trade hall to head to, and you guys would have definitely seen this. He's going to stop, like right as he leaves, kind of look down, mumble to himself, and then re-enter the trade hall. Like he's turning around himself.
Okay, like he forgot something.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So once inside the trade hall, once again, let me go ahead and turn that on. There we go. Okay. So Radovan, and by now race. So we'll have Kia, and I just need to bring a Marlowe in. And Marlowe's just a little larger, so we'll shrink her down where she needs to be. Okay. All right. So you three are back inside the trade hall.
I am going to look for Chandler, who I see.
Right, yeah. Chandler has taken up position in the far top right-hand corner behind the officiary's desk.
And I'm going to signal him if he ever looks up. Just, like, motion for him to come over.
All right.
As I make my way over here. Kind of away from everybody.
Okay. Yep, Chandler comes down. He says, is everything okay? Do we forget anything?
I'm going to look over at Kia and see what she's doing, as well as Marlowe.
Marlowe has made her way over to the weapons table, and Kia appears to be somewhat staring into space at the door.
I'm going to walk over to see what they're doing.
I left here to pursue, well, to get my friends again and pursue this delicate matter of the last person who spoke to us about her issue.
Victoria and...
Was that her? Victoria, was that her name?
Yes.
Okay, because I honestly didn't catch it. I was a little distracted, and I was worried I'd make an ass.
Victoria's the bar wench. I don't know
I
if
was
she
about
said
to
her
say,
name.
that's wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know if she said her name. She said the guy's name, at least.
Yeah, I don't believe you got her name.
So,
Okay.
Chandler...
Thanks for the cheer, dude. And you guys that are cheering, we'll read your messages here properly in just a little bit.
So, Chandler, to spare us embarrassment, what was that woman's name who approached us?
Yes. Chandler?
Oh, you mean the young girl that was assaulted?
Supposedly, allegedly, yes.
Allegedly, of course, my lord. Yes, Esme Palewater.
Esme?
Palewater?
Esme Palewater. Her father, he was one of those that unfortunately didn't leave Rockhelm during the descendants upon Rockhelm by those wretched creatures. He had too much to lose. Unfortunately, he did manage to make his wife and daughter leave. They travelled south. But yes, he lost his life, and Esme found her way back here. Apparently had some upset with her mother and left, and travelled back up here with one of the merchants.
And she has been a part of this community for how long?
Oh, about a month, I suppose.
And what does she do for this town?
From time to time, she helps out at the stable, mucking down horses, fetching water, currying. She has been doing a little bit of labourer's assistant work, taking them water when they're hot and bothered, and obviously she can't lift very much. But she's pitched in as best she can.
So, has she caused any trouble since she arrived here in town? Any accusations like we heard, or has she just been...
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And this person she accused, I'm going to look at Kia. Robert
Smalden.
Oh, that's right, Smalden. What's his story?
Robert Smalden, he actually came here, And he kind of beckons you in a little closer. He was actually in a relationship with the lady behind the counter behind me, over to my left, selling the textiles. They came together. Only apparently he's a bit of a womanizer, and well, she no longer has anything to do with him, and he spent most of the time just loitering around in the tavern, and quite honestly, over the last couple of weeks that he's been here, he's never really caused himself much of a hindrance, but he hasn't really done anything to assist anybody either.
Does he need a job?
I would certainly say that his hands could be put to more use. Honestly, I expected as soon as his money ran out, he would probably leave.
And he has been here for how long?
About 2 weeks.
So there's a lot of fresh faces in this in this town, obviously.
Absolutely. People are coming and going all the time.
And you said he has a history of being a womanizer, at least with his...
Well, maybe I spoke in a little bit of haste, my lord. He is believed to have had infidelities with his significant other that is behind me. They weren't married, but had been together for numerous years, so I understand. Llama Eater, thanks for hitting the resub button, my friend. Much love. 22 months for you. Spam your hype, spam your rollies.
Hey, thanks, Llama. You do win. Could we kick him out of this place?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you are the governors of Rockhelm. You can exercise anybody that you seem to feel is necessary to be removed.
See, the problem, Kia, is if he did the act that Esme accused, we do not have the resources in town to do what's right. I mean, remember what happened at the barn all those years ago.
Could you do that? That would be a great punishment.
I could, but honestly, that was honestly more out of desperation, given our situation and where we were going. In truth, he deserves years in prison before that happens. And
do we take him to Iridian, where there is a prison?
Well, I did have an idea about that. It would be a spell I'd have to cast on him, but obviously I would offer a choice, one being worse than the other.
Oh my god, I can almost smell what he's thinking. Meanwhile, you guys are having that discussion. Marlo, you're over there perusing the weapons table.
I'm looking for a weapon that best resembles what the guards were using.
Okay, there are a couple of swords that would be equivalent to long swords. Nothing classic, but swords that are close enough in size and shape to where proficiency with one would be equal to the other, yeah.
So I'm gonna pick whichever one that it looks to be the closest.
Okay.
But I'm gonna kind of...
Probably this one right here.
Oh, it's so awkward.
Definitely, you know, it's definitely long and oddly balanced to weapons that you're used to. The closest thing that you have, I mean, obviously you use, like, cameras, but again, they wield more like axes than swords, so...
How much is this?
Oh, for the longsword there, miss. Sorry, ma'am. 15 gold pieces.
Okay. I'm gonna hand over 15 gold pieces.
He takes it from you, and seeing you seeming reluctantly, he says, I can assure you that it's a fine quality weapon, milady, and, whoever you're buying it for, it will make a handsome gift.
I'm sure it's fine craftsmanship.
It's worth every penny.
I'm gonna stare at the gold in my hand, actually, and then I'm just gonna give him 20. Because this is what I see Radovan do all the time, right?
He's like,
He gives away more.
If I offended you in any way, I wasn't trying to imply that you thought I was cheating you.
Oh, no, that's not it. Thank you.
Yes, Marlowe's learned from Radovan to haggle in reverse.
Surprised it wasn't 25 gold, to be honest.
Right.
with you.
Wah, wah. Okay. Well, he takes the money and thanks you. He says, "Well, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. I had, in fact, strongly considered, seeing as the sales of weapons here of late, especially the kind that I've been selling, is not been going particularly well. I was strongly considering leaving, but since yourself offered me your fine and generous patronage, and so did the tall lord over there in the armor. He purchased something from me only 20 minutes ago as well, so perhaps I will stay around a little longer."
Well, thank you for considering that. We're gonna try to get things back up and running around here. Good day.
Yeah, good day, my lady.
Gonna just kind of stumble off, holding the sword awkwardly.
As Marlowe approaches, I'm going to say, "Thank you, Chandler. You may go. We have
Marlowe
what we
carrying
need."
a sword. He says, yes, my lord. Of course, if there's anything else you need. Excuse me, and beg your pardons, my ladies." And he heads off back behind the counter.
So what were you
To
saying?
stumble back to try not to accidentally poke this guy with the sword.
Nice sword you got there, Marlo.
Yeah.
Why?
If I'm gonna be trying to teach these guards something, I need to be a little more familiar with their weaponry.
That's a good idea, actually.
Just don't, poke your eye out.
Don't poke your eye out.
I will not be running anywhere.
Running with
Good call.
Running with swords.
Alrighty. Okay.
So what was your idea?
Well, so if he did do what she claimed, he should be in prison for anywhere from 5 to 20 years, based on the severity of the incident.
Okay.
If he did it, if this is not his first offense, that's where the castration comes in, and it's then anywhere from 10 to 30 years in prison. Problem is, we don't have a prison here to shove him into, or guards to spare to send him to be imprisoned.
I mean,
So I
I
was
have
thinking,
some things, but what are your
Well-
things?
I was going to send him on a little quest and force him back to Iridian on his own volition, telling him not to break any laws, not to stray from the path, to basically commit himself to be arrested when he arrives there, if it is indeed a first offense. But I was also thinking to offer him the option of a second plot, where we'd basically brand his forehead with the R for rapist, and castrate him. Basically, so wherever he went, he'd be in forever exile. The
In
options
lieu of
being
imprisonment, right?
You
in
want
lieu
to
of
scarlet letter him.
kind
Wow.
of. Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Because castration alone is an option for a second offense, and we can improvise it to make it a first offense. But that doesn't mean he will stop being abusive and a womanizer. He could try to do it in other ways or something.
Well, your first plan, him going on a quest to Iridian, why would he do that? Why wouldn't he run away?
Well, it would be a very potent spell I have not quite cast yet, but it's
Are
basically.
you charming and suggesting people now, Radovan? Because you told me not to do that.
You were doing it to
Radovan
get,
would never. That's why he would obviously be okay with it, right, Radovan? Because the other choice is. The other choice kind of sucks. So.
Kia, I know what you're thinking, and I don't want to do it personally. I take no pleasure in doing it, but in lieu of resources, it is a way to, and it will not last forever. It'll last until he actually fulfills it. It'll have some safeguards so he doesn't stray, and because when he strays, he will get hurt. And obviously, Cuthbert permitting, and it will only be until he commits himself. And if we do that, I will be willing to give him the minimum of 5 years with possibility of on good behavior, for accepting such a strange and possibly damaging spell.
Possibly damaging.
What is this spell, Radovan? What's it called?
It's a Geas. It's a quest spell. I mean, other classes, you folk probably will call it a Geas, but I'd call it a quest more. Basically ordering him to go there as soon as possible, without bringing harm to himself, not breaking the law while doing so, and to basically go to the law and say, hey, I committed this horrible, horrible crime, and I deserve to be in prison for 5 years on Radovan, Kia, and Marlowe's discretion.
So if he doesn't do it, he's hurt?
He will feel sick, most likely, possibly for the day, and he will take some damage, yes.
That sounds like a curse, Radovan.
Sort of is. It's...
Is Cuthbert okay with that?
Well, obviously I would... If I'm not gifted the ability to do it, then Cuthbert would not be happy with it, and we'd have to come up with an alternative.
Here's my
if Cuthbert's
opinion.
okay with it.
Here's my opinion, Radovan and Marlowe. There's a new spell I've also been working on. I could keep him barred up in a cage. No guards would have to watch him. I'd have to make the cage every day. It'll last about 28 hours. But he can stay there till he's tried in a trial. And if he's found guilty, you send him on your quest. I feel like branding him with a letter on his forehead and castrating him, well, personally, I like that a lot. That doesn't allow him ever for a second chance in 25 to 20 years or whatever it is. And I believe he should get that second chance after he's out of prison.
I was honestly expecting you to just wave your little rod of craziness and see what happens.
Yeah, there's a new option for punishment.
Cal told me I could only use that in the most desperate of times.
Oh.
I don't work on spells or anything, but I could break his legs. He wouldn't go anywhere.
He wouldn't go anywhere.
You wouldn't need a jail.
You're right, Marlo.
So
he'll eventually.
you
Or you could kill the Cuthbert could.
See, the options are endless. You break his legs so he can't go anywhere. If he's found innocent, you heal him and send him on his way.
Well, first we have that
With 25 gold in his pocket.
That's an interesting. But you would be beholden to him.
I just noticed Kia's still got her 1 natural 20. I need to clear that off.
I can produce a barred cage. I don't need to be concentrating on it for the duration, if you're wondering.
I mean, I did think that if we found like a solid anchor point, like a rock, I could create a prison. I can't create a prison door, however. And it would be not the most sturdy of prisons, but,
Well, mine would be absolutely sturdy.
Isn't
No
the
guard
best
would need to
prison
keep
one
watch.
that doesn't have a door?
Correct. And this one does not have a door, so...
So we just put him in
we
this,
put
like,
it in there. We try
with a shit bucket? How does he eat? How does he survive?
From the shit
windows
bucket.
Obviously,
either.
we feed him the minimum. We give him a bucket, the minimum things that all prisoners have, correct? And we set a date for trial.
Well, I was thinking we'd go to see him, pull him aside, and get the truth out of him if we can.
Well, that's an obvious first, but if he refuses... Is the trial
Honestly,
legal? Like, do we have to do it? Is it part of your books?
honestly, this investigation, if we come to the truth, will satisfy me. So a trial will not be needed. It would just be punishment if it's warranted, right? So
Yeah.
this is the trial, is us going to him, talking to him, maybe talking to his ex-girlfriend to see if he ever did anything that she suspected.
He has an ex-girlfriend?
Yes, the lady behind you selling the textiles, the clothing.
Oh.
Woman, right?
Ooh.
We can ask her nicely to try to recount any incident that might bolster Esme's claim, so we have more information to go off of when we actually confront him.
Character
I worry.
witness.
Yes.
But ex-girlfriends don't tend to be good character witnesses, do they?
Well, they'll probably be biased.
By the same token, Chandler did mention that he might have been a womanizer, so she might not be biased in his favor. But we should know kind of what he did.
I worry that he might catch wind of us questioning all these people he knows and run out of town before we have time to talk to him.
Well, I think we're more than capable of catching him.
I can still break his legs. Just keeping it out there. You don't have to go with that choice.
I'll keep that one on my list. I don't think it's necessarily against anything that I believe.
Well, let's see what... So, Kia, Marlo, do you want to... I mean, you want to go get her? Because if I did, it might be more imposing. I don't know.
I'm going to glance at Marlo as like a you or me kind of thing.
Not party walking off.
Okay, great.
Oh, I'm gonna turn back around before I get all the way over there actually and be like, what do I call her?
Miss.
Miss. Okay.
Ma'am. Yeah.
Not my lady.
I was going to say milady, then I remember, like, wait a minute. We're the nobles here.
Okay, so you go approach, and as soon as you walk up, she kind of turns around and curtsies, and she says, "Oh, hello, my lady." She is a little bit of a comely.
Like Mr. Bean.
She is a little bit of a comely-looking woman. She does have a fairly large bulbous nose and a pretty big wart on the end of it. Clearly, she has overdone the eye makeup, and she has thick black eyelashes, thick like charcoaled-in eyebrows, and she looks at you and she smiles.
Mr. Bean, that's too much. Sorry. Just...
Not going that far.
Hello, Miss.
What can I do for you?
That's so Mr. Bean.
Oh, hello.
I'm sorry to interrupt you in the middle of your selling. Could my friends and I speak with you for a moment?
Oh, absolutely. Excuse me, ladies and sir. I have to go with this this noblewoman just for a moment. My services are needed.
I'll get him.
Fucking hate you, Cole.
I'll get her back to you as soon as we're done here. Good day.
They curtsy.
I'm gonna awkwardly curtsy back to them. I'm gonna walk back over here as I'm approaching, like with my back to the woman. I'm gonna be like,
Just my eyes are gonna widen. Like, oh god, what's gonna happen?
My lord, ladies, what can I do for you?
We are investigating a potential issue in town and would like your expertise, your experience, firsthand, if you will.
Oh, I would more than happily assist you.
So, we're investigating Robert Smalden.
Oh, really? What's he done now?
Well, I don't want to, spread what could potentially not be true. So,
Why?
you do us a great favor if you just share your experience, your time with him, as a
Well,
character witness, if you will.
Yes, what do you think of him?
As a travelling lady who specialises in the sale and resale and acquirements of textiles, I met young Robert. He is considerably younger than me, and some people did indeed consider us a strange matching. But we spent several joyous years together. He assisted me in my trade, as it were, travelling around from town to town. And, for one such as myself, I considered him quite a catch. And
what?
yes?
Continue.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Well, here recently, however, after we arrived in Rockhelm, he caught the eye of some young floozy, some local strumpet, and, I think they took things a little beyond what is appropriate, and when I found out, I requested that he leave me immediately. I was not about to be cheated upon by Mr. Robert Smoulding. No, not at all.
And this...
Good for you.
Well, as much as I miss the male company, I must have some respect, you know.
Absolutely. And, in the time that before you arrived in town, did he behave in any way that you would find alarming or worrisome,
Well,
uncouth?
let's just say he was very fond of browsing other wares. But I don't believe he ever actually made a down payment or a purchase, if you follow what I'm trying to say.
Spoken like a true businesswoman. Yes, I follow.
Prostitution?
No, Marlo.
He's a rent boy. So, yes, I don't know what else I can tell you, really.
Well, you guys traveled for a while. Did he ever leave your sight for a prolonged period of time? When in towns or villages, or...
I'm not one for drinking myself, and quite often he would venture off to find the local tavern, but typically always come stumbling through the door late that evening.
Miss, what
Yes,
does
my
he,
lady.
what does he do here? Does he have a job?
No, quite honestly, since I requested that he no longer accompany me, I think he's probably found himself unemployed. I was kind enough to leave him with 3 gold pieces before I sent him on his not-so-merry way, and, but I don't believe he has even inquired about any kind of employment here in Rockhelm. From what I've come to figure, other than his ability to load a cart, unload a cart, carry big rolls of heavy textiles to tables, carry them back to carts, and perform certain bedroom activities, he's fairly useless.
Fair enough.
Excuse me.
He is a
Is there
very
anyone else-
fine and good-looking young man, however.
Anyone else know him in town?
I really couldn't say. I'm sure he's frequented the tavern a few times. I'm sure he's a familiar face there.
So perhaps the barkeep.
You've known him for a few years. Has he been... You said that he liked to browse wares.
Yes, I mean, his eyes are obviously ones that would follow other young ladies around, and he would, you know, as they walk by, his head would turn and he would get himself a full look. But as I said, I never actually knew him to go beyond that.
And you never heard anything in the towns you guys frequented about any horrible crime being committed?
Well, not that I would have associated with Robert, no.
Would you have ever thought him to do something
Well, like
to
what?
someone?
Has he stolen something? Depends on your definition of steal, really.
Really, ma'am, that's
We're not sure.
we're not at liberty to say at this point.
Well,
We appreciate your candor.
well, I certainly hope he hasn't got himself into any serious trouble.
Honestly, me neither. We'll look into this further. I have no other questions unless you guys do.
No,
Well, I'm very pleased to have met your lordship and ladies' acquaintances, and if I can be of any other service... Torte, thanks for the cheer, bud.
thanks, Jorge.
I'm going to reach into my pouch and take out 3 gold coins, and I'm going to hand it to her. And I'm going to say, for your service in this town, your aid in what we seek.
Oh, well, there's really no need.
Well,
Oh, I have another question. I'm sorry, Radovan.
Yes, my lady.
Do you just sell the textiles, or do you know how to sew them?
I'm not a seamstress by trade, but I am reasonably adept with the task, yes. Would you like a nice dress, mate?
I was thinking more of... I never wore the garb, so I can't remember what it's called.
A garb, a uniform, perhaps.
Well,
a vestments.
cloak?
There's vestments.
A cloak?
Claire.
I can definitely make cloaks. Cloaks are very easy.
I guess it was kind of like a cloak, but there wasn't a hood. It was kind of like a robe, yes, and there was like it was a fabric that went around the waist, and there was
Like
a bow in.
Like a sash?
Yes, but there was a bow in the back. The ladies where I
Dress.
come from wore it. To the ceremonies and things. They
Like
would wear their.
like a ceremonial robe, a ceremonial dress. As his lordship said, like a vestment,
I'm gonna actually. I have a parchment and a pen, so I'm gonna pull that out and I'm gonna sketch the best way I know how.
a kimono.
Yeah, like a stick person that's like got her fists up in the air.
Okay, she kind of looks at it and she goes,
A stick person.
I'm really not entirely sure what this is, but if you're looking for a nice attractive robe with a big sash and a very large bow on the back, I can certainly do that. Yes, given
Perhaps-
time, of course.
Perhaps embroider symbols from your homeland that mean something to you.
Just a nice.
Don't get too carried away on the embroideries, my dear. As I
No,
said,
it
I'm not an
doesn't- it doesn't need
accomplished
that.
seamstress.
It just needs to be in like a very pretty fabric. Usually they had flowers or birds on them.
Well, I have a limited supply at the moment. I've got a lovely blue silk. I've got a kind of a crisscross pattern. I believe I've heard it referred to as a tartan. I also have a sort of a goldy material with large flowers. Perhaps this would be of appropriate design. It's got flowers on it.
Hearing that, I'm gonna kind of. Yeah, does gold and that would go with my hair?
Oh yes, that would go greatly with
God,
your
get fashion advice from Kia Liana.
That one.
He says, well, if you wouldn't mind, well, I need to get your measurements and do a fitting.
All right. Kia and Radovan, if you don't want to wait, I'll catch up with you. It's up to you.
Look,
What was that? Oh, it was a creeper. Just fell off my desk. Sorry, it scared the hell out of me.
I
You
honestly
know that's
don't
going to
mind.
explode, right?
Right?
Blow
It's
all
like-
your blocks to hell.
How about this? You meet us outside the tavern when you're done. Kia and I, we have one more place to go before we deal with this situation.
All right.
All right. Okay, so you stay behind so that this charming woman can fit you for your new kimono-ish type robe. Radovan and Kia, where are you going?
To
Strangely,
the
Marlo's incredibly excited because she always saw the fancy ladies back home wearing these, and now she's a fancy lady here.
So she's
she
got
wants to
justification for it, right?
Aw,
we are
the
going to
bedroom.
no the
Oh,
stable.
Well, you can see where this whole conversation's got Kia's mind
Tavern, I
working.
believe.
We're going to
Barkeep.
this. No, we're going to the stable, guys. We're seeing. I'm trying to find
Oh,
Esme.
Stable.
Okay, so you're going to you're going to go find Esme Palewater.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for argument's sake, let's just say she is at the stable working at this point in the day.
I'm gonna beckon her over.
Okay, she kind of wipes her feverish brow and puts a bucket down and drapes a wet rag over the back of a large horse. Kind of wiping her hands on her apron, she comes wandering over.
Miss Palewater, I just want to let you know that we are investigating your claim. And there was just one question I had that will help in our investigation.
Yes, my lord.
What was the building you guys went in where the deed was supposedly done? It was a derelict building, right? Not in use?
Yes, if you... She kind of like leans out to the left and points behind the tavern in a straight direction towards
Oh,
this building
okay.
here.
Okay. And you went there voluntarily with him with drinks in hands. I mean,
I did. We had a couple of drinks in the Rock and Trader, and then he suggested, seeing as the building did not have a full roof, it would be a great place to lay down and look at the stars.
in the cold.
Well, of course, it was, we had a large fur blanket to cuddle underneath, and that's when things got out of hand.
Is there anything over there that can help us find evidence? Is there any evidence there of this event, or
I would
do not remember?
Honestly, I don't know. I got out of there as soon as I possibly could.
who was in the tavern when you left?
Several faces are familiar. Quite a few of the traders. Mr. Hendon, he was there. Shana Keendown. Obviously, the waitress. Victoria, she was there.
And this happened, you said, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
And-
Robert hadn't long come into town. He'd only been in town a couple of nights.
And when afterwards, did you see or talk to anybody like that night, or run into anybody who might have seen you afterwards?
Well, no, because he said that if I caused him any trouble, that, well, I might not wake up one morning.
Really?
He
But
threatened
of,
you.
but of
Interesting.
course, seeing as now we have guards and governorship, it seemed safe to come forward. You are going to apprehend him today, aren't you? And deal with this matter. You're not going to leave. Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
You're not going to leave it so that he has a opportunity to find out that I made this accusation and then come and do for me.
We will not let that happen, correct, Radovan?
Correct. Yes. We are just, getting as much information as we can, so when we confront him, we come from a position of strength, if you will.
As you're standing there having this discussion, you can see the gentleman that you talked to earlier, the livestockist. He's kind of walking down towards you with a horse, and he's got about it looks like a teenage boy on the back of it.
I'm gonna wave at him as he approaches.
We're ready to head off to the hills and acquire the livestock if you can spare those 2 guards.
Oh. I need to write a letter for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I should do that now. Radovan, do you have everything here?
Yes, I do, and I guess I'll go retrieve the guards so they get ready.
Yes, it'll take me, as I said, about 3 days to get to Reckendell, and a day to sort out the business, and closer to four back, so about 8 days.
Okay, so I'm gonna say to Esme, thank you for your information. You will be safe. No harm, no future harm will come to you. We are handling it.
All right.
And I'm gonna say, get the fuck out of my face.
Is that what you're going to say? Or
No, I'm gonna say you may go, Esme.
Okay. So she heads back goes back to washing her horse. All right. Which 2 guards do you want to send with this fellow, with Rodder?
2 in their 20s, right?
Yeah, the fit ones, right?
The ones that were like in their mid-20s that actually look like accomplished guards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna retrieve them and have them pack and get ready while Kia writes a letter.
Yes.
Okay, now, you had mentioned you were going to try to procure a couple of horses for them to ride. Do you still wish to do that?
I do, yes.
Okay, so to speed that along, you said that you would compensate a couple of the traders to loan the horses?
From the $500 gold that we have for the town,
What do you want to offer as compensation for them to borrow the horses?
I don't know. What's it cost to rent a horse? I don't know these.
You don't rent horses? I mean, come on.
I live in New York City. I don't deal with horses.
It wouldn't do you much good now if you did.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that the prices were probably the same back then.
I remember giving Casper 10 gold. He was like, "Oh, this is more than enough." So I'll offer 5 gold per horse. It's not too little.
Okay. No, basically, if you want to offer 5 gold just for the temporary loan of the horses,
Yeah.
and the fact that you are, a noble, which makes it a little harder for them to say no to anyway.
Well, do they look like they're getting shortchanged when I say the cost?
The main thing is, of course, if the horses don't come back, then
Pay it in full. Yeah, I'll compensate.
then they're seriously screwed. But so is that what you want to do? Say basically 5 gold, and if the horse is not returned, you'll compensate them the full price of a horse.
I'll pay them more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, no one's going to argue with that, especially not with you requesting it.
Good townspeople. And then I'm just gonna wait for Kia and send the guy off, and wait for Marlo to be done with her measurements. And
all right. Okay. Takes about an hour for Marlo to get fitted.
Probably the same amount for me to figure out what to write to try to open a trade route with Breckendale.
Okay, so what are you going to ask for Brecken? I mean, tell me how you're going to propose this trade route?
Oh God.
good luck, Jane.
The town, is it a town or a city?
Rockhelm is a town. Breckendale is a village.
Of Rockhelm requests the... God, I can't do this.
She can't word.
Requests a trade route to be open with Breckendale. We believe that we both offer unique wares that will benefit both areas, and hope that we can start a peaceful route between the 2 places.
What are you going to request that they are going to trade, and what are you going to say that you have to offer?
Well, we're getting some livestock from them. I'm not sure what else they have there. I think once we get livestock from them, from us first, maybe, hoping that Roger pulls through. I guess that'd be our best option right now.
Okay.
Future furs or the trades that we have in the trade hall.
Yes. I'll mention some unique weapons we have, and also that once winter is over, we'll have plenty of different crops to choose from.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to be leering over your shoulder, and at the very end, I'm going to say, suggest a pathway to be constructed eventually
yes.
with guards patrolling both ways.
Pathway to the guards controlling. I think you're right about
All
it.
right.
Otherwise,
Okay.
good job. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you propose your trade routes. You
Signed,
get your letter done.
heroes.
And with that in mind, then your
Lord
livestockist will head off in that general direction, accompanied by the 2 guards. Okay. You can expect them back in 7 to 8 days,
Okay.
if at all. Okay.
Good luck.
All
Upward
right.
speed.
That's a good point for us to take a quick break before things get kind of a little bit more interesting here. Alrighty. Okay, so with that, your tradesman has gone off to acquire livestock from Breckendale. You had told the furrier if he would wait 4 days, you would send some guards with him. Right.
Correct. So once we're all together, I'm gonna look at Kia and Marlo, and I'm gonna say, "Shall we go deal with this Smalden?"
Yes, I think the circumstances changed when Esme mentioned that he threatened to kill her. She didn't mention that earlier.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. A part of me thought to try to do a little bait situation, but we're nobles now,
Whoa,
so
what?
clearly, well, you know,
Who's gonna play bait? Me?
Okay. So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? How do you want to flush out Robert Smalden?
You go visit him at his work, right?
He doesn't work anywhere, remember?
He's at the tavern,
The
right?
tavern. His work is the
His
tavern.
work is getting drunk, apparently.
On the 3 gold that he was left when he got kicked to the curb.
3 gold to buy him a bunch of ale. Okay. So you want to go looking for that dude? All
He
right.
probably has single-handedly downed all the alcohol in this place.
So to the Rockin'
Besides Radavan.
Trader you go.
Another reason to break his legs.
Okay. Yeah, right, because... So you guys enter back into the
That's
tavern.
why all the rum is gone.
Why is the rum gone? Okay.
I think instead of making a scene, I think I'd walk up to the barkeep there and get his attention
Radavan.
very privately.
You've
Okay.
seen one before. What does a rapist look like? That guy's got beady eyes. I don't like the way he looks. It's got to be him, right?
They have beards, horn-rimmed glasses, and they always drive vans with the windows blacked out.
I smirk ever so slightly in Marlo's direction, but I don't break my stern demeanor as I step to the side of the door.
Okay. So the barkeep leans over.
This table. I'm
Evening,
standing right here.
miss. Milady.
Hi, what's your name again?
Oh, Samuel, milady.
Samuel. Samuel, I'm gonna lean in and kind of whisper. I'm hoping you can tell me if there's a Robert Smalden here?
I don't know about Smalden, but the fellow over there in the red tunic, and he points directly behind you.
Oh. Okay.
His name
that right.
His name is Robert.
Does he talk to the ladies a lot? Does he drink a lot?
Drinks as much as anybody, I suppose, and sticks to ale. And as for talking to the ladies, well, look around you. Other than yourself, the young lass at
sausage
the
fest in
door, and my waitress here, there are no ladies in the tavern right now. We're very strangely lopsided here in this town.
That's strange. It's quite the opposite in most towns right now.
I understand.
With the war.
A lot of people have said that, I suppose, if you look around, you can see a lot of people are pretty young. I suppose with Rockhelm trying to rebuild itself, it seems like a good place for a good start for entrepreneurs and young men, I suppose.
I suppose I've seen many
Bear in
lady
mind, most of the
entrepreneurs,
women
though.
were sent away prior
Oh.
to when we received warning that there were raiders coming down from the south. You have to remember that most sensible folk left Rockhelm.
Right.
When they did so, many of their menfolk continued on and joined the army in Iridian. And without their menfolk, most of the women felt, I would assume, that coming back to Rockhelm was a pointless effort.
Right. Well,
Milestone,
thank you
thanks for the
so
cheer,
much.
dude. Take pants off, running down the street screaming, Mandate 2, Mandate 2.
That's not the way to get it.
I love it. Thanks, Paul. I'm going to nod.
See, this
Thank
would be
you.
the perfect place for Lilith to open up a new establishment.
Oh my god. Yep.
Missed opportunity.
Yep. I'll nod. Thank you, Samuel. And walk. I'm just gonna brush past him
Okay.
back towards them. And I'm gonna take a look at Marlowe and Radovan and kind of eye point out this guy here. I can believe that's him.
All right.
Oh my god, Redovan, I was right.
Well, to look at him, he is physically fairly fit. He's got kind of like just a tunic with bare arms. He's got a piece of leather tied like right below his biceps, which artificially inflates the size of his biceps to make him look a little stronger and bigger and tougher than he really is.
Ugh.
He's got kind of a cropped brown hair, and he's very clean shaven. He's a pretty decent looking guy, if it wasn't for the fact that he clearly knows it and has got this annoying, as he sits there with his drink in one hand and arm on the side of the table, like
Just allow me to get him outside.
looking incredibly
So I can
smug.
talk to him. Unless he wants to cause the scene in here.
Well, no, actually, you can probably get him to follow you anywhere. So
I suppose you're right.
I'm gonna look at Marlowe and I'm
We
just
can
gonna
get rid of him.
leave and just wait outside.
I'm gonna start to back up and I'm gonna kind of look a little concerned. Like, I don't really want to leave Kia in here with this guy,
Okay.
but I'm gonna go ahead again.
All right, Kia,
Yeah, I
so what are
can
you going to
handle
do?
But I'm not going far from the door because just in case I hear her, like, raise her voice, I'm gonna run in, preparing to break somebody's legs.
Excuse me. Sir.
Oh. Hello.
Hello. Do you know who I am?
I don't, actually. But there's a spare seat
surprising.
here if you'd like to sit down.
I was actually thinking about taking a walk. Would you like to take a walk with me?
Oh, well, I must say, I find your forwardness incredibly refreshing. Absolutely. One
Interesting.
second as he downs the rest of his ale. Can't leave it behind. And gets up. Okay, as he does so, you kind of hear him behind, as you're walking towards the door, you hear him go like, as he gives this guy the nod, like,
Okay.
I'm in here.
Yeah.
All
As
right.
we're walking, I'm going to say, I can't believe you don't know who I am. Everybody seems to know as soon as I walk in.
He says, are you one of the new noble ladies?
That's correct.
Oh, it is a
You may
pleasure
refer to me
meet
as
your...
your milady.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, my lady.
Sure.
Yes,
Out here, please.
I would love to take a stroll with you. Okay, he steps outside. And immediately looks a little bit alarmed when he sees a 6-foot dude in plate mail standing to his left, and a strangely dressed woman standing to his right.
Robert, I keep trying to do a Lear accent. Robert Smalden.
I'm gonna sort of start to
yes?
rub my knuckle, and then I'm gonna catch Radovan's eye and stop.
Like,
I'm going to give it up for Radovan to finish that one.
My ladies, my lord, can I help you at all?
We were privy to some information that is very concerning to us. And we were hoping that you would use that brain of yours on top of that head to be as truthful as you possibly could, for it would very well be in your best interest.
Oh, absolutely. I would never lie to people of your station. I would never lie to anybody, in fact.
How long have you been in town, Robert?
Just over 2 weeks, I believe.
Okay.
Perhaps we should go somewhere more private. Just,
Yes.
So follow me.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Let's
don't
take
want
a
that
walk.
door to hit you in the back.
Okay, where do you want to take him?
To the scene of the crime.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you want to take him
Building.
to this
Yeah,
house?
yeah.
Okay.
Casually strolled out in that direction the entire time.
All right.
I like it.
Okay.
Something bad happened
Go
here.
ahead, and all three of you, unless any of you are literally not paying any attention to this person whatsoever, give me a sense motive check.
Oh my god, I can't alphabet. Okay, good.
Forget we have sense motive. Cool.
Oh! I forgot. I thought I had a better.
I was waiting on a Kia roll.
Hold on.
Sense motive is close to the bottom. There you go. All right. Not that it mattered. Okay,
Yikes.
Radovan.
Yes.
In your dealings with skullduggerous individuals, you've become clearly a little bit more of an expert on reading people in this regards. He definitely seems to be noticeably nervous. However, he keeps glancing towards the trade hall. Like, as you're walking, you see him kind of like nervously, like, keep just looking over in that direction.
So as
but you
we're
definitely
walking,
pick up the vibe that he is concerned or nervous about something.
so as I notice that, I'm going to say something in the trade hall.
Rampant City, thanks for the follow, dude.
Something in the trade hall of concern or interest to you at this point in time?
Oh, no, just an acquaintance of mine that runs a store there, that's all. Can I ask why we're heading in this direction?
I just wanted to go look at the stars.
Oh, Kia.
Well, it's quite light out, milady. Although if it remains clear, I'm sure you could get a very good view of them this evening. Not entirely sure. Are we going somewhere to stand and wait for the stars to come out?
I think it'll be clear to you soon.
Miss Kia likes the stars. She just likes to know. You've been here longer than we have. Where's a good place to look at them?
Well, anywhere.
Maybe you
really.
can show her later.
Well, just stand and look up. Not entirely sure. Okay. So you get up to the building.
This place looks nice.
Well, it's pretty dirty and run down.
Oh, you already know that.
Yes, I was here actually. Well, just under 2 weeks ago.
And
A very
Perhaps-
regretful incident.
well,
Oh.
fill us in. What
What
happened?
Oh well, as you can tell, I am considering the other, either poorly ill health or wet around the ears gentleman around here. I am, should I say, a step above most male specimens here in Rockhelm. Well, there was this young girl, stable urchin. We got to talking. She's a friendly enough girl, and we was in the tavern. She I'm very low on money at the moment, so she offered to buy me a drink. I accepted. Out of sheer obligation, I returned the favor and bought the second round. And she mentioned that she liked to take a walk. To be honest, I wasn't really interested in doing so, but I try to be a kindly sort, and I understand that sometimes it's better to let them down gently. I didn't want to cause a scene, so we came for a walk. And I didn't want to be seen in public with her, so we actually came here, and there is no roof, so we came inside.
Wow, was she ugly?
No, she's definitely not ugly, but she didn't have much to offer me.
So before you continue, I'm generally perceived to be an asshole. I'll be completely blunt about it.
He's pretty.
It's true,
yeah,
he's pretty asshole-ish.
Kind of an asshole.
I would never, in the same sentence, say that I was a nice sort of gentleman, and by the same turn of phrase, call someone an urchin who's beneath me. It doesn't sound.
I didn't say she was
genuine.
beneath me. I said she had nothing to offer.
Yet you were such a gentleman. You call her an urchin? I'm
Well,
trying to
she
make
is an
sense of
urchin.
that.
She works in a stable and mucks out horses. I've fallen ill on my luck. The lady that I had recently attached myself to had let me go, and I found myself low on fortune, and quite honestly, saddling myself with somebody who works in a stable wasn't going to further my ends in any way.
Desperate, would you say?
Oh, she was definitely desperate.
Not
And-
her.
What happened afterwards?
Oh,
Continue your
she-
story.
She had a large fur cloak, and it was dirty, so she laid it down on the ground, and she said, "Oh, why don't you sit here? I wouldn't want you to get your fine clothes dirty." And I sat down, and the next thing, she was on top of me, and I had to push her off and demand that she get away, and I stormed out of here as quickly as I possibly could.
Sense motive, can I?
Sure.
I think we're all sense motivating, honestly, as he tells us this load of crap.
All right. Why doesn't Radovans appear in a nice, pretty box like everybody else's?
Because mine said my macro is to
You
whisper
failed.
to the GM. Isn't that the difference?
Mine still appears in a box.
Yeah, they're whispered, but they still appear in a box to me.
Well, we'll have to look at it
So
afterwards.
fix that later. All right. Okay.
No, that's interesting.
Honestly, he's not sweating. He seems fairly confident when he's telling the story. He's holding eye contact. Seems like he might not be completely full of crap. Of course, he could be a very good liar too.
Radovan, can I speak to you for a second?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna take a few steps away.
I'm gonna raise my brow and just kind of follow. Yeah.
Radovan, I think this guy's a gold digger, not a womanizer.
Really.
I kind of don't think he would have been interested in a girl for her looks or other things if she didn't have any money.
I'd
Maybe-
like to say something while they're stepped away, by the way.
Maybe she was upset because he wasn't into her.
It is true that he seemed to only be with the other woman who was not the most attractive of women, right? I mean,
I wasn't sure
textile
she was a
lady?
woman, to be honest.
the textile woman was not attractive, correct? Just
No, she had a lovely personality.
no. I'm asking Gore just for clarification. So
She was what? Say that again.
The textile woman was not an attractive woman with the deep voice, right? Because she had a
She
wart
was
on her
not.
nose.
You would not have considered her attractive,
Homely
no.
or something.
Okay. Okay. So sorry, Spook. I was just confirming the description of the lady.
Yeah, she was very cumbersome and
I mean, she was
square
older.
jawed and
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 he,
this other girl, I mean, she was kind of cute, closer to his age, but he wasn't interested because she wouldn't further his ends. And he did say that the other woman let him go.
and gave him some gold to boots.
Yeah. Sympathy gold. Here, have 3 gold now. Piss off.
So you're saying there's a chance that Esme was hurt at being rejected. and
Well,
then-
I mean, he's not bad looking, so. And I mean, he's right. There's not a lot of choices in town, so maybe she.
Okay, well, let's pursue this lead and see about his past relationship, why he was with her, try to get the truth out, because he seems to be as honest as possible. I mean, he seems to be honest.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
While they were talking,
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, while
I
they
was
were
only with
whispering
them.
over in the corner, what does Kia want to do?
I cast suggestion.
Okay.
I can't do it because I can't click on my guy.
No, you can on
yeah.
the side. Can't
Oh,
you?
I can on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, I can. Cool.
Yeah, I put him there so you solve that problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alright.
Kia.
Okay, so Kia is going to cast the suggestion spell. All right, he gets to make a willpower save to negate it. So what are you going to suggest to him? Obviously,
I'm going
you have to
to-
make it sound like an active suggestion. It has to be phrased in such a way that it's a reasonable thing for him to do.
Right. I'm going to say, why don't you take me through what actually happened that night? Take me through the room and exactly where she laid down the blanket and such. I'd like to hear it again.
Okay.
All the honest details, please.
Alrighty. What does he need to hit? What is your caster? Do you know what your target level? Can you remember what your target level is for him to pass the will save?
Yeah.
It's pretty high, I know.
14. My caster level is 14.
Well, your caster level is 14, and you got +4 because of your
shit.
Charisma.
charisma.
Plus 4 because
So it's
charisma is 18. Is there any
Do you have any other
bonuses?
bonuses?
It should say, you scroll up on the spells and the macros, it should casting ability 0, first, second, like below how many you have. Like what level spell it is, it should automatically put those numbers in, right? The casting ability stat.
Next to your spell on the
Oh.
sheet.
Yeah, and at the very top of the spells.
Oh,
list,
okay. I
Like
see.
what level spell it is will
Yeah.
be what.
Okay, it's level 2 spell, or level 3 spell, so that means 17.
Suggestion should be level 2 for you.
It
Yeah.
says level 3 for me.
That's weird.
Yeah,
It's
suggestion.
level 3 sorcerer spell, level 2 bard spell.
Thought it was sorcerer and wizard level 2.
It says 3 here on the website. I don't.
The
all I
website must
got.
be lying.
Yeah, because right where you cast it, it says Source Wiz 2.
You are looking at 3.5 SRD, right?
Yeah.
And that-
Oh, I must have fucked up on writing it, but it's definitely level 3.
It is 3.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
fix that. I forgot to update that on that one.
Okay.
It's 3.
I will verify that for you then.
Did I do that on the rest of them? No, I did it
Okay,
right
no,
on
yep, you're right. Okay, yeah, your
Sorry.
macro is wrong. That's
the
right.
story guides.
Okay, alrighty. Then he is going to make a wisdom save.
It's been so long since 3.5.
And what was you say it was? It was 17?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh shit!
Okay. Well, he says to you, well, we came in and she nestled up towards me and I looked up at the stars and kind of out of courtesy I put my arm kind of loosely around her shoulder and we were looking and then she said, oh, why don't we sit down? And I said, no, it's far too dirty. And she said, no, well, she took her big fur cloak off and laid it to the ground and sat down on it and patted it with her left hand. So obligatory, I sat down next to her and Then we began looking at the stars, and she reached over and awkwardly held my hand. So I put my other hand on top of hers, which was actually going to be a motion to remove it. And as soon as I did so, she swung her arm across on top of me and put her entire weight over me and began to kiss me feverishly, at which point I said, no, you have the wrong idea, and pushed her off from the top of me and made my exit out of the door as quickly as I possibly could.
Damn it.
I'm just looking at, while he's explaining the situation, having talked to Marlo already. Just kind of like raised a brow.
Was she good at it?
What?
Marlo, what?
At kissing, was she any good at it?
Well, honestly, it was very forceful, and because it wasn't welcome, it really wasn't so much of a kiss, more than a mouth assault.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, looking how you do, I'm sure you're popular with the ladies. Did she seem like she had done it before?
Well, she was incredibly forward. I wouldn't have thought that she was probably unaccustomed to making the first move, no. But then, I am very attractive.
Radovan, does that sound like a girl who still has her virtue to you?
No, honestly, but
So,
Mr. Smalden, you were looking at the trade hall earlier. There's a woman who works textiles. Is this who you were in a relationship with previously?
it was, yes.
And what was the nature of that relationship? Please be honest.
We
mean-
were partners, and had been for several years. I
Or-
provided certain services to her, she kept me in a decent manner, and it was suitable for everybody. Until this incident, when shortly afterwards, the girl in question went running out, yelling and screaming that she claimed that oh, wait a moment. Is that what this is about?
I'm afraid it is.
Yes.
Wait a second. She told everybody this.
No. She didn't tell everybody, but she did tell my significant ex, who, believing the young girl with her amazing act of crying and acting so disheveled, she'd even torn her own dress. She accused me of womanizing and believed with her own looks that I'd finally had enough of her, and with that she told me she didn't want to see me again, and I said, but you've left me with nothing, and she threw 3 gold pieces at me as some kind of pity gift, and made it very clear that I wasn't welcome. Well, to be honest, I had kind of gotten a little bit tired of her unpleasant ways, so I accepted that this was probably the appropriate time to part our ways.
So Gore, earlier when I noticed he was looking back at the trade hall, kind of in his slightly nervousness, was there any look of like longing to his face, or like regrets?
No.
Or just like, was it more of like,
You rolled a pretty
will she
high.
see me?
It was more like a look of guilt than anything else.
Okay.
When we talked to the homely woman,
Oh, no. The other lady.
it was obvious what we were asking her, and she led us to believe that he liked to look but not touch. Why would she, if she had been told that he had done this to somebody?
Well, maybe that because she had such strong feelings for me, she didn't want to see me suffer any ill will or any punishment. Maybe she blamed herself for the entire thing. I mean, bear in mind, of course, that she was under the impression that I had had an affair with this young girl, not that I'd committed a crime. And now, from what it sounds like, Did the girl suggest I forced myself upon her, or something worse?
I'm afraid that's exactly that, and also that you...
But that's preposterous. You've seen the girl. Look at me.
Can I sense motive on his outrage?
Okay, slow your roll, Brad Pitt.
She also claimed
go
that
ahead, Kia.
you threatened to kill her.
Seems legit. I mean, he seems noticeably
This is so
agitated now.
stupid.
Yeah, he seems angry. I threatened to kill. I never did such a thing. The most I did was tell her as I stormed out. I was like, "You are completely mistaken, and I'm afraid you need to aim a little bit lower in life." That was the only thing that I said to her. Which indeed, I admit, at the time it was a little harsh, but I was rather shocked at the way she just threw herself at me. Going around telling people that I assaulted her.
Does that mean I have to break her leg still?
Well, we do have to get to the bottom of her accusation, if we are to believe what your side of the story is.
Well, fetch her. See if she's willing to make these accusations in front of me. It's a lot harder to look someone in the eye and lie about them.
I don't want to do that to her.
Well,
But perhaps
obviously I
I go
want my
talk to the
name
friends.
cleared from these terrible accusations. I can't wander around being labelled some assaulter of common folk.
Radovan, okay, isn't there something about having the right to face your accuser?
Theoretically, if we were to do a trial, they would be
A trial?
in the same place.
Yes, let's do a trial.
Speaking of, Roger, if I went to talk to the friends you were sitting with at the tavern right now...
His name is Robert.
Oh, sorry,
I was about to say,
Robert.
are you sure you have the right man?
Robert, did you tell them of the incident?
Of course not. I was embarrassed. It's the reason we came here, to not be seen in public.
So I can go speak with them now.
I'd rather you didn't. I mean, they would vouch for the fact that we left the tavern together. I feel sure of that, but I don't want them to think that I did anything with that girl.
Honestly, Kia, Marlowe's right. We don't have the resources in this town to do a full-blooded trial, and I would much rather, for the health of this town, to not have this ugliness come to light in its full entirety, where doubt is an
Nice,
issue.
Striker.
You know?
Thanks for the donation, my friend. Very much appreciate it. We'll
Thanks,
read
mate.
your any message you left here in just a second.
As much as Marlowe yelled at me earlier today, I'm going to give Marlowe this look.
Marla's gonna hang her head like,
I humbly forgive your interruption, my lord. But are you in fact a priest of, from what it recognizing by the emblem, Saint Cuthbert?
Yes, I am.
Then do you not have the ability to compel me to tell the truth?
that's what I was thinking. What if we hold a private trial, and of course you can put them under oath.
There
You do have that spell, Radovan.
There are things I can do, but I try to refrain because in some places in Arconis, it's against the law to do such unless permission is granted. Now,
I give you my permission. I give you full permission to do whatever you need to do to ascertain that I am telling you the truth, because I am, you see?
I'm gonna look up very expectantly at Radovan. Still not telling him that I tried suggestion.
What he doesn't know doesn't hurt him.
look,
Someone who's telling the truth doesn't have. It's not a risk to them. So as me, if she is confident in what she's saying is true, should be okay with it as well. Bless you.
Here's the thing. If I do cast a spell upon you and I find you to be telling the truth, the laws from common to common person of this kind of slander isn't really a thing. You know, if you slander a noble or you slander the state or royalty, there's punishment. One common person slandering another, I mean, we could come up with some kind of punishment if it is warranted.
She's a pathetic, silly girl. I don't care about having her punished. I just want my name cleared. To think that people would think that I would do things with her would ruin my chances with any decent-looking ladies that come around.
Honestly, Radovan, depending on if you let people know what's going on or if you keep it a secret, honestly, you don't really have to do anything else to her once they know she lied.
I don't... It's not in my nature to... Well, it is in my nature to mark people in horrible ways, disfiguring ways like I did that gentleman who did rape. But beside that...
Technically, she'd be marking herself. She told the lie to begin with.
That is true. So you give me your permission. You said you did. We can possibly get this cleared right now about in your situation.
Absolutely. Whatever we need to do. I don't need to have this hanging over my head any further.
So I'm going to cast Discern Lies.
All right.
Woohoo.
And I'm going to focus it on him.
He needs an
Just
18.
him.
Okay. All right. What are you going to ask?
Did you rape Esme Palewater against her will?
I did not. And for
Refocus.
as far as you can tell, he didn't seem to unintentionally avoid telling you the truth.
Do you look at other women in hopes of getting gold from them if the opportunity presents itself legally, of course? I mean, you know, are you a gold digger? Is basically my question. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible with it.
I do find that my personal good looks do lead to be a course of financial gain with the ladies, yes. And I do use it as such. I wouldn't say I'm a gold digger, but I do tend to find that I seem to are drawn to women of wealth.
Is there any... what is your expertise for a job? What are you good at doing?
Looking
That's
pretty,
just
seems
it,
like.
I'm not. I'll be honest, I was a lazy boy. Never really applied myself to anything. I was blessed with a natural physique and good looks, and I've basically used whichever deity smiled upon me has given me.
Would you consider working in this town? Because it is needed of work and not laziness?
Well, it depends on what.
So everything so far, there's been no sign of like his auras going...
No, it doesn't seem to be lying to you.
Wow. Fuck.
So I'm going to cancel the spell.
Wait, before you do that.
Oh, okay, I mean,
Did
it's 14.
Did you wait? Does he have to ask the lie or the question, or can
Yeah, he does. Well,
he can see the aura? So
he can see the aura of yeah.
I don't have to ask the question. It's
No,
just a
as
question.
long as he's concentrating on the person when they answer.
were you ever unfaithful to the lady with the textiles?
Several times.
It's not against the law if they weren't married. You were never married to this woman.
Oh, of course not.
Because
No,
you
but
are
I
aware.
was kind of hoping that
There
if he
were
hadn't done anything wrong, that...
several incidences in various different towns, in various different taverns, where things did happen. But as you say, we were never married. It's not against the law.
Did you care about her?
In a way. In a way, I did. I definitely cared about her well-being, her trade, her business.
Did you hurt the stable girl in any other way?
I confess the only harm that I did the woman is crush her feeble, overshooting heart. It's not the first time that it's happened, although it is the first time I've actually been accused of assaulting somebody that I didn't do anything to or with.
I was just going to suggest that if you really cared about the lady, that maybe you would go and confess your past sins and apologize to her, and we could...
There's really no point. She would throw me out anyway. If she threw me out for this one incident, I'm sure she'd definitely have nothing more to do with me if I confessed about the 5 or 6 other incidences. No, that's a done deal.
But she would know you didn't do this one.
No, but it doesn't really matter to me if she believes I did this one. If you clear my name, it'll be publicly known that I didn't do it. And then, in a way, it'll be poetic justice, because then she'll feel terrible that she discarded me for something I didn't do, you see? And then,
I'm sorry, sir. For a second there, I thought you had feelings, and I kind of felt sorry for you.
Oh, I have feelings, but they're not necessarily towards other people. They're mostly in regards to myself.
You
Can
are
I just
clear.
break one of his legs?
No.
As
You are
far
clearly an
as-
asshole, sir, but you have not broken the law.
As far as I'm concerned, you did not break the law, and so this trial is concluded, and you are free to go.
Excellent. Now, what are we going to do? Are you going to make this public? Are you going to let everybody know that she's lied and that she cast... And you say there is no... Well, it doesn't matter if there is. I don't care about having her punished. As long as everybody knows that I wouldn't have associated with such a lowly girl.
That is well below my station of care or concern.
Yeah, I think you can go and tell everybody that. We'll just go talk to her about spreading rumors or telling lies on people, especially ones that could ruin their reputation. And,
But yes, but then, you see, it'll be my word
maybe-
against hers still.
yeah, but maybe next time you should think about other people's feelings before you do stuff like that.
So it's
All
against
right,
the
yeah,
law
it was wrong what she did. It is.
Right, I'm the
And
victim
she
here,
shouldn't have been so
clearly.
forward, but also
Clearly I'm the
telling her
victim.
that she needs to keep her eyes on her own station.
Well, she does. It would save her a lot of heartache and rejection. I was doing her a
Yeah, but that's
service.
not your place to tell her that, sir.
Well, I believe it became my place when she forced herself upon me. I mean, could I not possibly... Could I not, in fact, then request that you... Yeah, she assaulted me. She physically forced herself upon me. That's an assault. Maybe I should make a formal complaint. Is that within my rights to do?
You are a strong man who seems to care for his reputation. Am I not wrong about this?
Yes, which is why I would like it publicly known from someone of authority that I did not do this. If you'll
Which-
happily do that for me, we'll let the matter lie. If not, I think I might have to formally lodge a complaint so it's heard by everybody.
Here's the thing. It is not already publicly... This accusation is not public. She did not... She came to our table in the town hall and was very discreet about it.
So it
Nobody
wasn't heard
knows.
by...
I don't even think most of the people in this town even knows. So,
Well, if you're
you-
sure...
if you want it to be known and you want it known that you were assaulted by a stable woman, a strong man who cares about his reputation as you are, you want it to be known that a lowly stable woman assaulted you successfully and you were unable to defend yourself?
Give me a diplomacy check, Radovan.
I love it.
Diplomacy.
Oh, look at him, bastard.
And that one looks nice, so the other one needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
But,
He says, No, you're quite right. If nobody knows, there really doesn't seem to be any reason to cause a fuss, does there? No, maybe if it's kept quiet and discreet. That's much better.
I will let you
Good
know that when
choice.
the governor does arrive and we are excused, we will appraise him of this claim and counterclaim and truth that was as far as we found it. So any future problems will be
Yes, and
at
tell
precedence.
her that if she slanders me in any way, I understand what you said. Apparently, there's no law against common folk slandering each other, but just warn her against it. Tell her that her lies have been found out, and she mustn't say anything else. And if she does, then there'll be consequences.
Oh, but there won't, because see, you're a commoner and she's a commoner, and so technically she's not above your station.
This is kind of true as well.
So I can freely go around and say anything about anybody. Then is that what you're saying?
would-
I have the right to say anything about anybody as long as they're not of noble
Sir, are you
birth.
telling us that you're about to lie about
No, not at all.
anything?
I'm sheerly
You do
saying
know we
how
are noble.
I'm just questioning how this woman can force herself upon me,
Look,
and
look.
then I'm accused of something I didn't do, and yet it seems to be that you're taking her side in this.
Robert, we will dissuade her from future slanderous words against you. We will try to make her know the gravity of the situation, so it will not happen again. The last thing that I personally wanted to see is anybody in this town slandering anybody else in this town, because it is a slippery slope that will cause a lot of problems when this is not something we need in this town at this point in time.
Well, I would hope not, and I believe I have been more than forthcoming and obliging of your questions, my lord. I've kept nothing from you, and
As far as we're concerned, you have told the truth. As unpleasant this truth might be, just about your nature, which is not something we're personally fans of, as you understand.
Well, I do. I can understand how only this lady here in the purple robe could possibly understand what I go through on a daily basis. Blessed as she is.
Radovan,
with
I think
similar-
we need to end this now.
Okay.
Good day.
I do just want to say this for your own well-being, sir. If you ever decide that it's okay, as you just said, that you could just go about saying anything you wanted about anybody as long as they were another commoner, well, that's not untrue.
Well,
But you might want to
wouldn't
be
do so.
careful about who you say it about, because some people might just break your legs.
Yes, you see, and that's kind of what I was saying, is if indeed nothing is going to be done about her and she does continue to slander me, then
Oh, I don't think she'll do that.
Then-
Her
Not gonna
pride
happen.
was hurt.
I
Her
wouldn't
pride
want
was
her
hurt,
to.
but-
I wouldn't want anything unpleasant to happen to her because she doesn't learn to keep her mouth shut. Is what I'm saying.
Well,
John
So
Farmer, thanks for
you're
cheering.
indirectly issuing a threat.
no,
I have a question.
I just
Marlo,
merely
we'll-
reiterated what you said. If somebody slanders you, they could end up with their legs broken. I just repeated every word you just said to me.
I think we're done here, Marlo. You said yourself we're done, didn't you? To me? And why are you doing this?
I think we're done here. Good day, Robert.
Guys, Robert, you're excused.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my ladies. It was a pleasure to have spent this last half an hour in your company. I am
I
humbled.
wish I could say the same. Please return to the tavern now. You're dismissed.
Absolutely, ma'am. Good day. And he quickly exits the building and hastily makes a fast retreat as a few
Oh, that
beads
was a
of
mess.
sweat roll down his face.
I'm not gonna lie. We could have handled that better, but
Yes.
we did get to the bottom of the claim.
Hey,
We need to speak with them.
being an asshole is not a crime.
I know, which is why Radovan was struggling so much because he's an asshole too. They're all assholes.
All right, well, that's the perfect time for us to take our second break.
I
Now
kind
you've
of
got
hope
to the
somebody
bottom of that.
breaks his legs. I'm not gonna lie. I want him to learn his lesson.
Slip the girl some poison and tell her to do the job properly next time. What do you want to do now?
Talk to Esme.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we need to go. Wait,
So-
before we go over there, what are we gonna do? Because she should be punished, right?
We need to ask if she'd also be willing to speak under Radovan's same spell. Can you do it again?
I'm afraid not.
Don't
We're
you
gonna
have
have to-
another spell? Zone of Truth?
I have many spells, Kia, but unlike you, if I don't
know.
designate more slots for a particular spell, I can only do it once. I have a
That's all right.
wide array of spells to cast. We're going to have to do this a little bit less
I have my
magically.
I have my own magic, so I think we can talk to her.
All
I
right.
think by way of punishments, if you want to work out some form of punishment beyond this being noted, her being warned and this being noted for all future law enforcement in this town, as a mark against her.
Right,
It's-
because she did not attempt to rape him. He said she just kissed him very forcefully. Is that the same thing? I don't know.
Well, I would honestly consider that more assault than anything,
Assault.
but if we're talking slander here, which is
And
I mean, if you want to get technical,
oh god,
it
so
comes
political.
Yeah, it's like this. It's really a case of, and obviously, just for you make your own decision. But the question is his ability to successfully defend the assault? Does that make it any less of an assault? If he would have done it to her, she couldn't have stopped him. Because he's an able-bodied man, he stopped her. Does that make her offense less?
But just because she was forceful with him and like made the first move, does that mean she wouldn't have stopped if he had said stop?
And that's exactly the flip side of that. Is
we
you
don't
don't
know.
know. Right, exactly. So if you call it an assault, then it's an assault.
I mean, he did come there with her. He sat down. He held her hand, as far as she knew.
She didn't chase him out. He didn't. She didn't chase him out the door, knock him to the ground, and continue. So
I mean, maybe she's just really bad at reading signals.
well. See, here's the flip side, because I did mention to him that it would become public
also
knowledge.
before we go any further, let me go ahead because we do have a couple more donations. I forgot. I was waiting on you guys to come back. Night Striker gave us a kind donation, and he said, "Sorry, I've been absent for a while, but I'll catch you when I can. Love you, How Reroll. Take your pants off." And then Junk gave us a Kappa
Thanks, Knight.
100. So thanks for that, Night. Sorry, dude. I was
Thank
waiting
you
for
so
them
much,
to come
Knight.
back, and
Have a
there we
good
go.
night.
Thank you, dude. Have a great night, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just gonna say, here's the thing. When we spoke to him, he didn't like the idea of him being assaulted getting out, because he is a man and he has his pride and his reputation and his desires. So he did not say, "I want to press charges." Remember, he refrained from that. So while technically she did assault him, there's no accusation of assault for us to.
Try to prove or disprove.
Because he said he did not
The-
want to press charges.
The only thing that we know for certain is that she slandered him. Now, we could come up with some kind of more minor punishment for that to dissuade her. Or we could have maybe a financially motivated punishment, so she would know not to slander her anymore, not to lie and spread falsehoods. She does work for this town. Perhaps she could work it off as some sort of probationary period.
Cut her tongue out.
Yeah, that'll teach the bitch.
Oh my god.
So yes, we can do something like that. Now, Marlo, I know you probably would want to lash her or punch her or something.
Well,
No?
I'm not saying that she shouldn't be punished. She should.
Okay.
And I'm not saying she didn't assault him. It's difficult. To me, it's a gray area because it's difficult to determine
Well,
what she was thinking at the time.
well, fair enough, but we cannot act upon the unwanted bodily contact, be it assault or attempted rape, because he did not press any charges on that front. He doesn't want that known, and we have to respect his wishes. So the only thing we can be actionable on is the slander, because she did come to us on our first day, no less, to make such an accusation, and that is something we need to dissuade, and where the punishment has to come from.
I believe the punishment, instead of being financial, should be more of a service towards the town, some kind of extra work that would advance the town, instead of her just being broke and then
miserable.
So she didn't publicly slander him. She slandered him to us and to his former partner. So can we make her go and tell the partner that she lied?
That is...
Yes.
But then, Marlowe, remember, he did have several affairs. Would we want this woman who works in the textile and works for us to not know the rest of the story? That he actually is... She doesn't deserve him? Because he is kind of lecherous? I mean, we could have her do this, Esme, to do this.
Me, myself, no, I don't want her forgiving a man that is unfaithful to her. But by the law, as you would say, Radovan, we were not present during any of those incidents, and none of those incidents are of our concern. Having her humble herself and admit that she lied to the woman is maybe not all of the punishment, but it is definitely something that she should have to do.
Interesting, Marlowe.
I would agree with you on that. I don't like it, but it isn't our place. And it isn't pertinent to what we were doing by way of law. An accusation.
All right.
This is gonna suck, but let's go see Esme.
Let's go see Esme.
So what do you want to do with Esme?
Approach her.
Okay.
Get her clear from other people.
All right.
And I'm gonna look to Kia and Marlowe, see if any of them are gonna speak up, or...
Nope.
You lying harlot! No.
Esme, we have confronted Robert Smalden, and through means that are quite consistent and trustworthy, deduced that you were not being truthful to us about what really happened.
But I was truthful. I told you everything.
We cast a spell with his permission that pretty much proved he did not rape you.
I didn't say he raped me.
What?
It's true. She said he stole her virtue.
He kissed
See,
me.
Radovan, this is why I asked you what virtue meant.
I mean, he forced a kiss on me, and I tried to tell him no, and he wouldn't stop. And he was very handy, but he didn't rape me.
No, see? Well, there you go. That's not accurate, because we asked him.
But he did kiss me.
He's not a very nice person, is he?
Fucking lingo and words. I hate these mind games. Can't people just be
Tell
forthcoming with the shit?
He wasn't very nice.
Radovan's mumbling this as he's dealing with Esme.
Miss Esme, he wasn't nice to you, was he?
No, not at all.
Did he call you names?
No. No, didn't call me any names.
You don't remember anything that he may have said that made you feel bad?
No. I don't really recall anything he said.
Sense motive. You look like you're very sad about something.
I am totally like rubbing my forehead.
She's not looking straight at you. She's twiddling her hair. She seems to be incredibly nervous about this line of questioning, that's for sure.
Esme, you can be truthful with us.
I was
truthful.
Truthful. He took me into the building to look at the stars, and then there was a kiss,
Then there was a kiss.
and then it very quickly came to an end, and I had to leave out as fast as I could, and I felt violated.
Because he
But
didn't
what part
want
of
to
you
kiss
felt
back.
violated?
My virtue.
As a woman?
Yes.
Your pride?
Well, yes, and my feelings were really hurt.
Yeah, he hurt your feelings? Yeah, he wasn't very nice. Was he?
He seemed nice at the time.
And he looked attractive. Is that why you went after him?
Well, have you seen the other men around here?
I have. None of them are quite
Yes,
my style.
He was so well spoken and such a friendly fellow, and I just figured that maybe, just maybe, I overheard him say that he was fixing to leave soon, and I just thought perhaps if I made a good impression he might take me with him. Coming back to Rockhelm was a terrible mistake.
Why?
Well, since my father was killed here, and he wouldn't leave. When they warned him to leave, he was one of the fools that stayed behind, and he said that he insisted that he had to stay behind to protect our livelihood, or we would have nothing to come back to. And he insisted that me and Mama would leave, and well, we did leave, and things didn't work out, and me and Mama did not see eye to eye, so I ran away and come back here thinking that the new Rockhelm would be different. But there's nothing for me here, absolutely nothing.
Maybe you should go back to your mom. Don't you think? I mean, she is your family. She's all you have left, right?
I suppose. But I can't travel back there by myself.
Well, we have merchants here. They travel all the time, and we're working on... You may just have to stay here for a little longer. But Esme, just because he hurt your feelings isn't a good enough reason to lie about somebody.
Well, I didn't completely lie.
And also, please, just for my sake and my sanity, when someone says, take my virtue, I go to the what I always think it to be, based on my past experience.
As a virgin, giving someone a kiss and them spurning it, that's...
I see that now, but I have encountered much worse in my line and my work in the past 2 years alone. Please, be more clear with your accusation.
But understand, Miss Esme,
Fucking confuses me.
it hurt your feelings, right? And the way he talked to you hurt your feelings.
Yes.
But telling a lie like that, it could have caused him a lot worse things to happen to him.
I
And to you.
understand. I am sorry. I won't do it again.
Okay, but there's another matter. You went to the trade market and you told his partner something, didn't you?
I did. It is true. He did kiss me.
That's not what she thinks.
What do you want me to do?
Well, you've told us the truth, all of the truth. So you need to tell her the truth too.
Okay.
Because that lie, it hurt her feelings too.
Okay.
And she didn't deserve that, did she?
No. I'll go and tell her. I am sorry.
I believe you're sorry.
Thank you, Mrs. Palewater.
Can I go now?
Esme, no. For the time you are remaining here in Rockhelm, after your duties here at the stable, you will come help clean the noble's house. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So you've basically got yourself a free housemaid as punishment.
I'm gonna audibly
I've been
groan.
looking around.
You're just gonna see me go, oh my god, no.
You see Cal's head pop out of the bag.
And Miss Esme, you said that your dad was a fool for staying here, but he was doing what he thought was best for his family. Do you understand?
We were
He sent
ordered.
you away to protect you.
Yes, but we were ordered to leave. They told everybody they must leave, that the town
Yeah.
was going to be assaulted and raided. Anybody staying behind, it was suicide. He threw
He
his
was
life
trying to
away. That
protect-
wasn't helping anybody.
Maybe it wasn't the smartest decision, but he did what he thought he had to do as head of your household and to provide a life for you and your mother.
Look at this place, Esme. Look at the wrecked place. I mean, this. It was right for him to leave. He did the smart thing. After what we went through in the war. Look,
I'll come and clean your house, and I'll go and apologize immediately.
thank you, and you're dismissed.
Thank you, my lord. I'm sorry. As she kind of like triple bows as she ushers her way back over towards the trade hall. All right. Okay. So what do you guys want to do? Give me an overview of what you want to do for the next few days, because you've got 8 days before your livestock is supposed to be back. You've got 4 days before you are willing to part with the other 2 guards, or either 4 guards to go with these, with the trapper and the skinner and the furrier.
Right.
So, what do you want to kind of get? What do you want to accomplish over the next few days?
Make sure people are. I know we sent people to help, like, get some of the the destroyed buildings, collect material, make sure they're building the schoolhouse.
Right, which buildings do you, okay, so which building
Right.
or buildings do you want to level?
Probably the one where we took Robert to. I don't know.
The
Okay.
ones without any roofs, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole thing, was you guys, because you didn't have materials, your concept was just to tear down one house and use the timber to repair some of the others, right? Okay.
Yeah, Radovan is he's going to spend his mornings in his clerical vestments in the town hall, fielding concerns or questions, anything that comes up.
Okay.
In the afternoon, he probably would oversee some things or meet everybody. He would kind of want to get to know all the villagers, what they do, what their skills are,
All right.
just so he kind of knows who's in his purview. Like,
All right. Well, I mean,
That's what
obviously,
Radovan
it's
would
going to
do.
take a good while for them to. I mean, and a lot of the roofs are not destroyed, but they are in ill repair, so they are repairable. Like this one here, this one here.
yeah, those we would get repairing,
Okay.
right? I mean,
So do you want to repair those first, or do you want to repair the most damaged ones first?
Wait, what? Repair the most damage?
Well, you've got some of these buildings right here that literally have the roofs are
they're-
missing and they're burnt out.
but they're-
And then there's a few like these ones where the buildings are more or less intact. They're just the roofs they're damaged.
yeah.
So that would be a schoolhouse, so repair that first.
Yeah, we take the ones that are like or really badly damaged, and
Really
we'd actually
bad. And
strip
destroy
them.
those.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why I just destroyed this one here.
Okay.
I mean, tearing that entire one down will probably get you enough timbers to repair the remaining.
Okay. I mean, so that's what we'll start with, I guess, and then we'll repair the ones that need repairing.
Okay, so in other words, you're going to repair the least damaged ones first.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get
that's
them
what
up
I was
to snuff.
asking.
Get
Okay,
them
cool.
operating.
All right. Well, Rockhound continues for the next 4 days. Esme comes by and keeps your house clean. Now you were gonna you were gonna organize and send someone south to sort out supplies for the tavern, right?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Correct.
And I would have spent time with the guards, teaching them how to stay warm and vigilant.
All right. So you're gonna put some discipline and work into those guys. All right. So there's four.
Come on, guys! I
Four
used to
guards.
like.
4 of them.
I used to do stretches and stuff on and sit for hours under waterfalls and shit like that.
Yeah, stop bitching about a bit of snow. Okay.
We're gonna ask. I imagine Radovan would ask the eldest of the guards to find candidates in town to be trained.
That's the one that you. That's the one
old
that
guy.
you promoted to captain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would help Marlowe by asking him to find people in this town to become guards, and we'd start training them.
Well, there's at least 5 or 6 sensible, able-bodied people that could be trained as militia.
Is Robert one of them? The lazy
If
bastard.
you want to if you want to request that,
Do it.
I would suggest it.
he's
heavily to
he's
him.
physically very fit, and maybe he could be trained to be a half-decent guard.
And I
He
would.
could use some discipline.
Oh,
And
he
he would
definitely
also-
could use that.
I would also inform him of all the laws of all the laws, and I would take great pleasure in telling him the laws that I follow, so
Okay.
he doesn't fuck up and.
All right.
get
So,
castrated.
what do you want to do with the 5 or 6 recruits, the local militia? Do
If
you want to?
Marlowe-
Are they going to get paid, or are they going to do it because they're being told to do it? What's the deal there?
I think they'd all get paid. I think we'd start with a base salary
Okay.
to
What do you want to
invigorate
pay
the
them?
town. Silver a day.
Okay.
Cop- it's
Silver
not
piece per day.
Unfair.
No, it's
Yeah.
more than fair.
That'll get them active and busy and spending, so they'll go into the town and it'll kind of become cyclical, right?
Okay, and that fund is coming out of your 500 gold piece
Correct.
allotment. All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Training.
I would find what they're proficient in. I mean, if Marlowe's not doing like the regiment building endurance,
Oh yeah, they're starting off from the ground.
Yeah, I mean, so Marlo is
Literally,
going to
on
start
the
teaching
ground.
them discipline, how to, you know.
and I would assist in the afternoons or whatever with like weapons training that Marlowe's not necessarily good at. I mean, just to like fully rounded, right?
Okay.
I suppose.
What do you want to do about equipment for these
Everybody,
militia?
strip down naked. This is how you came into this world.
Right.
Pretend like you're coming out of the womb. Go.
For equipment, I would honestly go to Kia and say perhaps you can find a contact in the city of Iridian to do like studded leather or something, commission.
How many?
Well, for
6 or more.
all of them, let's get like a
6.
standard going, right? Yeah.
So you got 6 militia.
But you're training more, aren't you?
Well, those
But
are the
they
6.
are the 6 that she's training.
So
You've got the existing 6 guards who already have equipment.
6 plus 6. All right. Sure, I will send a raven. Will you just send a message for me, Radovan?
Carry a pigeon.
All right. Well, I don't know the person to send it to, so
I'm sure I do. By the name of Mr. Studded Leatherman.
Mr. Underhill.
I'm sure I'd make
Okay, yeah,
contacts.
as much time as you spent in Iridian, you probably would know the name of.
It's a female. Is that okay with your men?
I don't see why that would be a problem, Kia.
Studded leather has flowers on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And little-
I definitely
little
will
birds.
look at. I will definitely look at Kia like, what does
Some
that
people
have to
think-
do with anything?
Armor made by women isn't as sturdy, but sometimes it's sturdier.
All right. Okay, so you're going to use the suggestions. I mean, a message spell.
Ascending spell, yeah.
Ascendings. Okay. All right. and request it be made and sent.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Alrighty. So that's underway. All right. So you begin this after the 4 days is up. So what was the concept behind waiting 4 days and then they can have then the furrier can take the 4 guards?
Um,
I think that was to get started training new guards.
Yeah, and also so the other 2 guards could come back soon. You know,
They won't be back
not as big
until
as
about
a
8
gap.
days, but yeah.
I didn't want as big a gap because
If
in those
nothing
times,
else, your new recruits militia, even though they may not be well trained at combat, at least they've got eyes that can keep an eye on the gates. So you've got watch. They just have to come screaming bloody murder should anything happen.
I would also spend
Yeah,
that
they're still
time,
keeping watch and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I would
So-
still
I
spend
would've-
that time patrolling myself. I mean, I would take it upon myself to be kind
So
of a
after
guard.
4 days, it's okay for the 2 elderly guards and the 2 young guards to go off with Roger.
Roger.
Yes.
I created the permit for him for. I believe he requested one.
Yeah, he basically wanted a permit to be able to.
Yes, I'll give that to him.
Okay. Yeah, basically he wants that so that when he goes off into the woods and kills lots of animals and brings them back, he doesn't run into any problems by pissing off
Right,
nobles
right.
because he killed somebody he shouldn't have killed. So he just
Gotcha.
wanted like a free reign. Okay.
I'll
All right.
remind
So
him of the tax.
yep. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. So I'm giving you for your trade. For your livestockist, I'm giving you a base 50% plus 10% for each guard you chose to send. So that's 70% success rate.
Okay.
Oh, for the love of God, please! So it has to be under 70. Is that the deal?
Yeah. So here we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see. So if it's 70% or under, and the lower it is, if it is below 40%, he is back in 7 days.
Okay.
If it is 41 to 70%, he's back in 8 days. Over 70, some form of mishap occurred. All right, let's have a look. Was your livestockist and his son and the 2 guards you sent, were they successful? Our survey says 29, very successful. Okay, congratulations.
Yay.
Rockhelm now has a
What do we got?
small
What do we got?
herd of cows and a small herd of sheep. Congratulations, you now have meat and livestock.
Meat.
If you
Kill them
remember,
all
he
and
said
cook
that.
'em.
Yeah, he said that he would sell some of his stock to the tavern keeper. Seeing as you guys haven't had decent meat, other than like they had 1 pig that they had like 3 weeks ago or whatever, and they haven't had anything much in the way of that. So yeah, you're successful in that measure. Okay,
Cows and sheep.
good deal. So yeah,
So
a
we got
small
milk,
herd of
too.
cow and a small herd of sheep. You now have livestock.
White Russians for everybody.
And we
Meat's
sent
back on the
sent for
menu,
alcohol
boys.
already? Did we?
Sorry.
We did. We sent a
We sent
message
for
for alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that you sent. Where did you send that? Did you send that with this guy, or was that when you sent south?
No, that was south to
Okay.
the other town, the
that's
near
right.
closest one, right?
Uh huh.
This guy was the one we sent the letter with to Brecondale, so I'm wondering
Yeah,
if he got a letter
yeah,
back.
he did. Basically,
Yeah.
Brecondale is a farming community. They have obviously a lot of livestock because they have
Yeah.
a large herds of cows and sheep. They also have crop fields and stuff like that. They did send a thing back, and they are willing to sell you a quarter of their grain stores that they have put up for the winter.
For what?
Basically, you're looking at about 1.5 tons of grain, and they will sell it to you for 15 gold.
We are gonna do that.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
All right. So you're just you need to send a message back and tell them yes and send it to us, or you need to send someone with the message to go and get it.
Isn't that called yogurt?
Of course,
Sorry.
of course, you're going to need a large horse and cart to do that. In fact, you're probably going to need at least 2 of them.
So, what is the cart and horse situation. How many horses are in this town, and how many carts do we actually have?
Well,
Or wagons, or
Well, right now, I mean, there's about 4 or 5 carts here because of the traveling merchants that frequent the trade hall. So if you come up with the same sort of deal as you did with the horses,
we can rent it and have it done. Yeah. So we're going to do that.
okay. Who do you want to send, and what do you want to send?
Maybe we can go to the tavern and put out a notice to see who's interested in being kind of like a messenger for us to go between cities.
So you want to volunteer to go to Breckendale, deliver the message?
Not even volunteer, we'll pay them.
Okay. What are you going to offer?
We'll give them incentive. Silver a day?
Sure.
Okay.
Silver a day.
3 days there, 3 days back. And obviously they'll go on a horse and cart and come back. Well, actually it'll be... Yeah. So I mean, if you send the letter that says yes, it'll take them 3 days to get there. They'll load the grain and they'll turn around and come back. And they're not traveling with livestock, so it won't take them as much time to get back. That was the reason it took them a lot longer to get back, is they had herds of cows and sheep to navigate. Okay.
Right.
Yes, that won't be a problem. You get a taker for that.
Who?
You wish to send any
Who's the
guards?
name?
Yeah, a couple of guards.
The
Not
same
the
2
two
guards?
that were already. We can send them. Yeah, they'll be patrol. They'll want them to get familiar with the patrol routes.
All right, there you
we
go.
might be
see if there's,
incorporating.
All right, so you're going to send them back.
Do we have a name for our new messenger?
Bob.
Bob.
Larry.
Bob. You can call him Bob if you want.
Nah.
Frank and Beans. No, I don't know.
Mr. Bean.
I don't have a name. I suck at names, so whatever.
His name is Ups.
Charlie.
Well, I will give as soon as it's one of you're basically
Charlie.
acquiring. You can have Carl Hestershire.
Okay, Carl. Yay, Carl.
Mr. Shear.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
you're going to send Carl and the 2 guards with a horse and cart to fetch grain
Right.
and bring it back. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and continue building the school for the school teacher.
All right.
And
Okay. About 8 days has passed. In that 8 days, you've pretty much got these 2 buildings, the roofs properly repaired. So you will be basically your furrier and stuff has gone off. A few more days pass. We're going to make the same roll again to see if Carl Hestershire and the guards successfully return.
oh god, so 70%. You said?
Yep. And they do. So you will need somewhere to store the grain.
All right.
Shit.
Of course, you have several houses that are newly repaired that no one lives
What are
in,
they
so you
called?
can always.
Stylos?
You could probably. There's probably enough empty space in the stables. Of course, it wouldn't be necessarily fully weatherproof, but
Let's use
Yeah. What Shaggy said.
I was gonna say let's use one of the houses we newly repaired.
you could do that.
That's not the school. We'll just use it as storage, and we'll have some of the guards kind of patrol that area, right?
Okay, and then just
Protect
have
our interests.
and have them help shovel the grain through the window,
Yeah.
pile it up in the living room.
We'll retrofit. I mean, it'll be a slow retrofit of that place to make it a granary, I guess, right?
Okay, well, within a couple of weeks, Rockhelm has livestock. It has successful grain.
Hey.
Hey.
Right. Let's see if you manage to entice anybody to come up and sell liquor.
Please.
I'm going to give that basically the same percentage.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, in that same length of time, you have managed to restock your tavern as well. So now the tavern has grain to make wheat, to make
forgot
bread and
this.
stuff like that. You have meat back on the menu. You know that there were plenty of people selling vegetables here, so that wasn't a problem. And now you have a merchant come up from the town down south and sells him, several different bottles of spirits, a crate of wine and 2 or 3 new barrels of ale and a barrel of mead. So you are set for a while.
We're being successful.
So far you have been successful. However,
Oh no.
to not completely piss on your parade, one morning, as you are preparing to conduct your town hall privileges, and I know that was a week. It was kind of Radovan was initially starting to do it, so go ahead and reposition yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, Kia and Marlo didn't necessarily have to be with me when I do this.
Be
but
here now.
Right. Okay.
They just know something's weird is going on.
Right. For the most part, I mean, you really haven't been having to deal with much in the way of complaints. Everyone is more or less happy with the way things have been going. You've been making successful progress. So that's good.
So we're there playing solitaire on the table, right? Like some card game.
I love
space.
these 9 to 11 meetings. Free time.
Right?
So, Radovan, when do
Hey,
you
remember
think
that
I can start having the recruits spar with each other?
Oh wow.
When can they punch
Are
the
they
shit
ready,
out of each
Marlo?
other?
I mean, I'm not going to fight them, but I mean, I'm going to let them fight each other.
I'm missing something.
At what point do till death?
No, not till death.
Oh,
I mean,
do you have proper attire for that, like gloves and stuff, so they're padded
Boxing
Sure.
gloves.
for sparring? Yeah, well, all right. I mean,
wooden swords.
we could commission some wooden swords, I guess,
what for?
for sparring, Marlo.
Do you know what sparring means, Marlo?
Well, yeah, but you don't need all of that stuff. I mean, if you wear padding when you practice, then when it comes time for the real thing, it's gonna hurt more, and you're not gonna.
Yeah.
You
Perhaps.
don't want them getting hurt, though.
Perhaps
They
this
won't
can
get
be.
hurt. They're not strong enough to hurt each other right now.
Perhaps this, but I don't think they're trained well enough to not accidentally get hurt. This sounds like something to be done in the springtime, when the weather warms. No,
Why?
because it's more
So they can
humane.
hurt in the sunshine?
Fighting's not always humane.
We don't
You got to
want
be
it.
prepared for anything.
Fair enough.
Sometimes you have to fight when it's cold.
If you think that's what they
That's
should
why I
do,
had them stand out in front of the city hall in just pants. You haven't noticed?
what?
Yeah, she's got him
No,
out there.
I haven't.
She's got him out there cold weather training.
I love it though. I like it.
I think we should be
Mind over matter. As
Careful.
long as they imagine that it's not cold.
right. I think it's a little too soon. We want them to stay as guards, not be dissuaded from it. So how about
Okay.
in the summer we boost their salary a little bit and then add this on the sparring practice? That would
Oh.
keep the incentives
I
kind of
don't want
level.
that over here. I
right?
want that over here.
How
Sorry,
about
guys.
how about a silver 5 and then you'll fight each other and get bloody like Fight Club?
Well, I was thinking that if I could show them what I can do and tell them that one day they can do that maybe they'll be more excited and they'll be more willing to beat the crap out of each other.
You and Radovan should spar in front of them.
Oh my, please no.
Sir
Radovan don't
Radovan
want
and
his
Sir
ass beat in
Marlowe.
front of everybody.
I would enjoy that. And so would Cal, I think.
Yeah, I know you two would, Kia, but no.
I'm
don't-
still working on how to turn your advantage over me into an advantage for me.
Yeah, but remember, this is a temporary assignment for us all, so we're not going to
Yeah,
be
but it's
here.
not temporary for them. Does anybody else hear that dramatic music?
All right.
No, I actually don't.
Okay. Well, as you guys are having your discussion about how you should or shouldn't train the guards, staggering in through the door with one arm kind of hanging
Oh,
limp
shit.
at the side is your furrier.
Is what?
Furrier, Jane.
Okay, he manages to kind of stagger round the side and uses the pew to hold himself up. He manages to stumble across to the next chair, and then loosely manages to make it across and throw his arms down on the table to support
It's
himself.
like Redfin jumps up on the table.
I kind of
Sure.
wanted to. I'm gonna
wrong?
run to his aid and do a skill check to see what the hell's wrong with him.
Okay,
As Kia asks that
so
question.
you're making a heal check.
Yeah.
All right.
I was so close to the 20.
That's all right. Okay, yeah, he is. His right arm appears to be broken. He is covered in cuts, grazes, and like it looks like he has been. It either looks like he's been severely beaten, but honestly, most of his injuries look more consistent with a fall than anything else.
Fall.
He looks at you and he says, "We were successful, but I had to leave it all behind. All of it."
Elaborate.
And
Your guards, they fought bravely enough.
What happened?
Edge of the woods.
Thinking they fought Jason Voorhees with this music that's in the background. It's creeping me out.
Sorry, say again. I missed that. What you said.
Okay, you notice as he's speaking, his eyes are kind of like going heavy. It's like he looks like he's
Shit.
about to pass out. That's why he's
Where's
having
the
a hard
guard?
time speaking.
Shit.
Roger.
Alright.
Oh, I'm gonna like throw the chair at him. Not literally, but like I'm gonna
Oh,
quickly
4 damage. Oh, and he's dead. Oh.
accidentally break his neck.
I'm
Alright.
casting Cure Light Wounds
You
on him.
cure him
as
for
he's-
10. Okay. That goes a long way to helping him out. Okay, so as he starts to kind of look a little bit more coherent, his eyes begin to focus. Well, when we first got there, we were able to deer, bear, mountain lions. It was easy. They were just everywhere. We managed to gather up a good stock, and much like I've done in the past, because of it's easier to travel light, I'd stashed all the pelts. We believe we gathered as many as we could carry, and we made our way back. And then we heard noises. Understand, the woodland area up there, it's burnt. Most of the trees are, the ones that are standing are dead. But through the trees we saw these things coming towards us. It was dark, it was misty, it was late in the afternoon, it was hard to see. But before we realized, an axe come flying through the air and hit one of the guards between the eyes, and he fell to the floor. And then we just saw shapes, dozens of shapes in the mist, so we began to run. I'm much lighter on my feet than the guard that you sent, and I realized before I realized, I looked behind me and he was nowhere to be seen. But they were chasing me, I could hear them. Heavy, stomping footsteps, crashing and screaming some strange, guttural sounds. As I forced my way through the dead forest, I stumbled here, I stumbled there. I tripped on a large rock and come crashing down on some burnt stubble and burnt trees, and I think I broke my arm. I managed to get up and carry on running, and eventually they seemed to give up chase, but They're not far from Rockhelm, whatever they are.
You said guttural, like orcs?
Honestly, I speak Orcish, I've heard Orcish. I know the language, but this seemed more war cries and whoops and hollers than actual vocalizations. But understand, this wasn't in the mountains. This was on the edge of the forest. The edge of the burnt quadrant of the forest. Not but a day and a half to 2 days from Rockhelm.
Is there any chance that any of the guards made it?
Unless they've returned, I don't know. I know for sure one died, and the others, as I said, we all ran. And I left them far behind. They were way more cumbersome and slow. Two of them, as you remember, had injuries. They were slow on their movement, and I feel almost certain that they probably didn't outrun those creatures.
Well, rest assured you're safe here now, and us three are well familiar with that section of what used to be the forest. And I'm going to look at Kia just kind of quickly with a little glance. We have dealt with creatures in that forest and come to some agreeable terms, although this doesn't sound like it's them. Well, Marlowe, I think you're going to get your wish, because I don't think this is something that we can rely upon the guards or let stand.
Excellent.
Especially as technically 4 of them are dead, 2 of them are out of town, and that leaves you your 6 newly trained militia.
So do you think whatever this is too strong to train the guys?
I would not want to risk lives needlessly. I'm going to look over...
well, more for me.
I'm going to look over the gentleman again. Is he... he's still wounded, right? Or is he...
He's still not well. I mean, his arm still appears to be broken. A lot of the cuts and bruises have been...
Alright, I'm going to cast a Cure Moderate on him.
Okay.
Just because I want him to be...
Yeah, okay,
21.
Yeah, he's fully healed.
So I'm going to rest my hands on him.
Blessings of St. Cuthbert are upon him.
Do you think whatever you saw, do you think they're headed this way? Towards this town?
Well, as I'd said before, my lady, I've travelled north of here a few times, and I've never seen or encountered anything in that part of the ruined forest before. Only seen or heard rumblings in the mountains. If these things are indeed at the southern parts of the forest, there's little to nothing there to draw them there, I would have thought. Unless they have left the mountains and are beginning to get braver and travel further south. Perhaps it is some kind of war band or raiding party from some who knows what.
Well,
I don't like it.
Needless to say, I felt that it was necessary that I survive to get back here to tell you just how close to Rockhelm these things were.
Well, with our recently reestablishment with the other towns, we can't allow this roving band to exist, so we need to seek them out.
Kill it. Let's go kill it. When can we go?
Honestly, as soon as possible. Marlowe, Kia.
I'm ready to go. Sounds like something
All
we should
right,
take
let's
care
do
of.
this.
Okay, so without
Calm down,
further ado,
Marlo.
you guys want to head out of Rockhelm and head north? Do you want to take him with you as a guide, or you want him to stay here?
Does he want to go with us? Like, we're gonna...
Well,
I mean...
Okay, let me rephrase that. Is he being told to go, in which case he will, because
No.
you're nobles and he doesn't have much choice, or are you going to give him
He
a
just tells
choice?
us the direction he ran from. We'll just go that
Draw
way.
us a map.
Yes, please.
He said it was the southwestern section of the burnt forest,
Yeah,
right?
so basically, if you head out of here and head northeast, you're going to find it.
How many days is it away on foot?
On fast foot, like a furrier or trapper or whatever, about a day and a half. So call it a couple of days for you guys.
Yeah, we're getting horses. We're gonna emergency take 3 horses.
Okay.
Emergency.
We're gonna say there's an emergency. We need to
Take
make
these.
haste, so we're taking these. And we are aware of their situation, but you know,
Esme,
this is.
keep the house clean.
Please.
She's gonna have a party while you're gone.
No parties.
No,
Or you're
but it's
grounded.
just who's she gonna invite? The town's full of ugly men, apparently.
I am
she's,
gonna
so
drop.
she's good for.
I'm gonna drop some silver pieces for the taking of the horses. I realize that's probably a dick thing to do, to steal horses.
Okay.
And then we're gonna make haste in that direction without the trapper.
Alrighty, off you go then. All right. It takes you about. I'll use this one. So let's go ahead and show you the overland map. Okay, so you're going from Rockhelm here, and you guys are heading to the little southern portion. It's kind of more or less. It's closer to south than it is. Not closer to south. It's closer to east than it is northeast. But
We
you
supposed
guys
to be
remember
seeing
where the
something
forest
other than
is.
the town?
You remember burning it down, in fact. So you know exactly where it is.
No.
All right. Okay. So you want to head that way. All right. Well, it does indeed take you about a day and a half. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Takes you about a day and a half to get to the edge of the forest. Now, the burned part of the forest itself, the first thing that you notice when you get there are little green saplings. Trees have started to regrow naturally.
Yay!
Small, delicate saplings are dotted around all over the place. Few briars. The ground there is still predominantly blackened. The soil is blackened, but of course that actually makes for good fertility. I mean, it's not a terrible thing in the big scheme of things to have a section of wood burnt down for it to regrow and stuff like that. But in any case, what you do notice, however, is because of the amount of burnt and fallen trees, tree limbs, it's not good going for the horses to actually try to make its way across this burnt out landscape.
Damn it.
But I mean, you got here quickly.
Is there any place we could tie them up that will be not as open?
Not really, because it's pretty barren out here because of the fact there's open plains, and then the forest that was here. I mean, there are some still standing burnt and dead trees that you can tie them to, but they're not going to be well shaded.
You're gonna die.
Something's gonna eat our horses, isn't it?
Is there any? I know this is hard to. No, that's rocks or something. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Shit, tie them to a tree and pray, I guess. I don't know, guys. I mean,
I guess so. What else can we do?
All right.
Leave them with some water or something.
yeah, we could do that. Give
All
them
right.
some water and food and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then you start making your way.
If anything comes towards you with
Funky
big teeth,
Comadina, that's
run.
a fellow dude.
Please.
All right. Okay, so you guys start making your way through. He gave you the approximate location and description of his little cache where he
That
stashed
looks like
everything.
it right there.
After kind of following his directions, he referred to some fairly odd-shaped trees and stuff like that were pretty obvious. And in fact, he'd carved, as a trapper, he had carved markings into some of the dead trees so that he himself could find his way back to his cache. Eventually, you do see what appears to be a large, fallen dead tree. You can see a lot of old branches, a lot of kind of burnt out undergrowth had been piled up. And beneath it does appear to be a fairly large section or pile of pelts and furs.
Found it.
Well, let's take these back to the horses and cover them so they're warm, right?
Yes. Not a bad idea.
I mean, it's before we venture further in.
Okay, so you scrabble off and pull all the...
If we get back and there are horse skeletons.
So yeah, I mean,
But
there
they'll
are
have
deer,
nice blankets
there are
over
full
them.
deer pelts, a couple of large bear pelts, several cat pelts, a whole bunch of smaller
wait.
pelts that appear to have been like from, you know,
Means mountain lions.
large rodents.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna take it
I
all.
was freaked out at first too.
Yep.
Cat
Tiny
pelts? What the
cat
hell?
pelts.
That's not even gonna go.
Yeah,
Black
like as in
ones,
mountain
tabby
lions,
ones.
not as in tabbies.
So yeah, we're gonna take the pelts and take them back to the horses, cover the horses so they're
Okay.
warm. And
So you start scouring it all across and gathering, you know, start getting them. I mean, there's a large amount of pelts. So, I mean, it's, you know, a bear pelt rolled up is quite a thing. So, you know, you guys are gathering all this up. As you're doing so, however, you hear a weird sound coming from the northeast.
What do you mean by weird?
It's kind of, it sounds like some kind of really loud braying sound from some sort of large creature. You kind of hear a...
Dinosaurs.
Can any of us discern what that is?
Um,
Any checks we can make?
I would say if you want to make a knowledge nature check,
Sure.
it's possible.
I'm not even gonna try.
Oh, I keep knocking my headphones out. for some
Almost a
reason.
20. Damn it.
Okay. No, it's no sound that you've ever heard before. However, shortly afterwards, you do hear what appears to be another sound, but this one doesn't sound altogether like it's made by a living creature. It sounds much more like a...
that is
What?
a war cry. Everyone get ready.
I was born ready.
Okay.
Actually, don't know where I was born, but I'm ready.
Obviously, this area of the forest, there are still several trees standing, but none of them really have any growth. So you can see quite a way through a lot of the trees. It appears to be, the first thing you see is what looks like some massive beast crashing in a general direction directly towards you guys. It has two large horns that come out the side. It has a cut horn. Like originally these things had like, it looks like it had a horn, like almost like a rhinoceros horn, but that has been cut off. It's only about probably half a foot, you know, standing up from its forehead. It looks like it's dragging something behind it, something man-made, but as it's like smashing towards you, your eyes are fixated on that, and then behind it, you can see large, tanned, kind of pallid-skinned individuals, huge, musclier, humanoid shapes, are running behind this thing, like, with weapons poised and raised in your direction. Like, this thing is, like, leading almost like a rampant charge, and they're following it.
Pallid skinned as in the creatures we know of? Like,
So
Fucking dinosaur, I knew it.
Oh, it's not really a dinosaur.
there is something I would want to cast when it gets in range. So
Okay.
I would prepare that action.
All right.
Because that thing is fucking huge. And yeah.
Alrighty. Yes,
Yeah.
it comes crashing towards you. Let me go ahead and turn this on.
Oh my god, I can't remember my stats.
All right. Okay.
What is that?
What is it you want to cast, Radovan? Well, actually, before we do that, you guys need to go ahead and give me initiative checks.
How come mine doesn't say anything?
And Radovan's didn't roll properly either. Your initiative macros are bad for whatever reason. They're not working.
Huh.
So roll.
Okay.
You need to fix.
So
We need to
roll
fix
more.
I mean,
those.
it rolled 1d20 minus 1. That's
Yeah, but you got 15.99 is what it said, and that's not right.
yeah, because it's 16. I rolled a 17 minus
Right,
1.
but why is it giving points?
I don't fucking know, man. Like, it's a good roll. Why are you taking it away from me?
Oh, almost.
See, this isn't fair because I rolled well.
Oh well, sorry. Get your macros fixed. All right. So Marlo will be on a 16.
I rolled like crap.
I need a pencil that works. Or a pence. Yeah, there we go. All right, Marlo 16. Kia 13. Rado will actually be on a 7. All right. But so as this thing is tearing towards you, what do you want to do, Marlo? Obviously, it's out of range right now, but you can see it.
Shit. Do I want to fall into any style? I am so sorry. I'm just gonna get ready. I'm gonna hold my action.
Okay. Kia, do you wish to do anything?
I'm gonna guess. It's like barreling, like not stopping.
No, it is bulldozing ahead like a rampant savage creature.
Okay, then I will be casting overland flight on myself.
Okay.
And just... I'm not
Alright.
gonna, like, go up in the air yet, but I'll ready myself if I have to. Like, jump and then go above it.
All right. That's not what I want. Okay. There, have wings. All right.
Thank you.
Radovan, what is it you want to do?
I am casting Hold Monster on the thing.
Ooh.
Okie dokie.
So it's in range, 240 feet,
Yep.
and 21 willpower negation.
Damn. Alrighty.
Because it is my domain spell for level 6. So as a big gun, I'm casting.
Yep.
And I guess I'll fall as my held action. I'll fall into snake style.
Okay. Alrighty. Make a dice roll. Alright. Amazingly enough, it does not seem to stop, I'm afraid.
Damn.
It continues to come crashing towards you,
Oh,
dragging
you big
this
bitch.
weird cart behind it, and and pretty much creaming round from behind the thing.
Oh my gosh.
You can see what it does appear to be a large gaggle. That is the correct term for orcs. A gaggle of orcs. But these are, I mean, these orcs are fairly large. They're a little bit more kind of less armored than the ones that you're used to. But they seem to be like painted up, like with war paint and stuff like that. And they are screaming at the tops of their lungs, like terrifying, blood-curdling cries and whoops and hollers.
Okay.
Alrighty. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Okay. This thing, it's large. It covers a lot of distance. So the next round, it will be smashing into where you guys are. So it will be doing the equivalent of a charge. So with that being said,
So we get another round of our actions as it approaches, or
do you?
is it? Well, don't we? I mean,
No, absolutely not, because the end of the show for tonight
Damn
is
it.
there.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Gore! I got all pumped.
Ah!
I'm not gonna remember what I was doing.
Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter at Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons and Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter at How We Roll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Shagget here. On How We Roll, I play Radovan Rainier, War Priest of St. Cuthbert, who just so happened to author a new academic book that's coming soon. It's titled Libido Rectification for the Required Propagation of Arconis' Depleted Men-at-Arms, or more affectionately titled Mandate Number 2 and You. You can follow me on Twitter at @neb_convos for upcoming book excerpts, just to get the hype going, push up the sales. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I'm the Dragon Spooker, and I play Marlo Rayfell, monk and resident badass for How We Roll. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so using @DragonSpooker, or follow my Twitch channel, which I sometimes stream on, twitch.tv/TheDragonSpooker.
Hi, thanks for watching another episode of How We Roll. I am Jane Ivana, and this is my lovely cat, Norman, who really doesn't want to be here right now. You can follow me on Twitter, @Jane on Twitch with a 0. Shh, don't tell him, he doesn't like birds. No. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/Jane Ivana, so you can find me there. And I guess that's all we got. You got something to say? Nope. Peace, suckers. Bye.